So now we're getting into this talk. What are we going to do to solve our problem? All right. This problem we have that the Rashi chart doesn't seem to be entirely trustworthy. All right. We have to figure out how do we navigate this. So Arudha degree, obviously, this is what Western astrologers also did. They realized, all right, the signs as whole signs is not going to work. The ascendant in one whole sign won't do justice. We need to start focusing on the exact degrees of these transits, or of these occurrences, or of these points in the chart which are important. So technically, now we're really putting astrology in a very difficult position, because not only am I now addressing the fact that yes, degrees are important, but how do those two charts of that governor and prince change based on degrees? That's also a question. How much will there's not much of a difference between them. There is one at 20 degrees, one at 28 degrees. In time span, that is going to be, what is that? Maybe a good half an hour between them. In half an hour, how much do the other grahas change? Like technically, how much do they change? The moon is possible to change a good amount in that time, but it's possible it won't. Okay? Because the moon tends to stay in, let's say, one Navamsha for a quarter of the day. 6 hours. 12, forget degrees, right? One Navamsha is 3 degrees. For 6 hours, it is going through that. In half an hour, it's not going to cross half a degree. All right? Maybe it will. Maybe it'll cross into the oscillations between the amshas. So is it that we have to up our ante and go into much deeper divisional charts? That's what the nadis do. But we have to be practical as well. Like, oh, you didn't have the exact precise birth time, so I can't read your chart. What do you mean precise birth time? It should be accurate within 12 seconds. What do I do? Okay. What will the client do? What will the astrologer do? So, all right. So then we have to dwell on this. So how much is changing? We know the lagna degree changed quite significantly in that almost half an hour. Quite significant, from 20 to 28 degrees. That's a good portion. All right, in that time span. What about other planets? The point is, none of the other grahas beyond the moon is having any significant change in that time span except the lagna. Maybe some special lagnas which move faster, divisional charts which move faster. But then let's play this game. Let's say there's a principle. I want to see the transit results over a specific graha in the chart. Let's say your fourth lord is Jupiter. You want to see how is your fourth lord, that means mom, going to be doing in life. That degree of Jupiter is not going to change much. So whether you see it in Rashi or Navamsha or in any deeper divisional chart, within that half an hour span, all the transit results over that degree of Jupiter will be the exact same for those two people that we were dwelling on earlier. Same. You're not making a difference. Therefore, the only thing that is different is only the lagna degree. Only. The only thing. Neither of the grahas are helping us. Only the lagna is changing something. Okay. Now, in the Shastra, a very common term that is used is they will say, oh, you should see the transit over, let's say they said, for your health, you should see the transit over the 8th lord. In the amsha, so what is the amsha? Amsha could mean navamsha, right? For longevity, actually, it's D30, by the way, just in case somebody was wondering.
Okay.
So it's not navamsha. People say it's navamsha. It never works. It's D30. It always works. And never mind that. Different topic, different day. And then, if we just ignore this for a bit, you know, these vargas or whatnot, we say amsha, let's say. It could be any planet. Let's say somebody wants to know when will a sibling be born. Then the Shastra says, when the transit is over the lagna lord, you can have a sibling. Why lagna lord? Because you are gaining siblings, right? 11th from the 3rd house. Interesting? So see the transit over the lagna lord in the amsha. And so that means take the lagna lord and take it in Navamsha or whichever amsha. And then we have the problem again. We said, hey, Nav, Visti, the degree of the lagna lord is not changing for so many people. All right? That governor and the prince could have had siblings at different times. What are we talking about here? And I say, yeah, but then there's often this word which is used, sputa yogam. Okay? Sputa yogam. And so far, I have not seen one person translate this correctly. In fact, they will say, there's even a comment that is given by Santanam and Devakeralam where he states, they keep mentioning this word sputa yoga, which we consider useless talk. He even says, they're saying something which seems repetitive and not necessary. Even Parashara uses the term sputa yoga. Even Parashara. And the translators are like, we don't know what to do with this. What is sputa yoga? Yoga with what? Okay. Imagine I say, every graha can be on its own in a certain position in the chart. But how it differs for you is dependent on your lagna degree. That has two meanings. Two meanings. One is, obviously your lagna degree will change something in the divisional charts as far as assessment is concerned. But what if I say, take every graha in your chart and add the degree of the lagna to that graha's degree? Yoga, sputa, yoga requires two. So in case of I want to know when a sibling will be born, it would imply take the degree of the lagna, then take the degree of the lagna lord, add the two together. Now that graha is behaving differently because of your lagna. You are the difference. You are the difference for all those grahas in the chart. And from that new degree, see transits with reference to that. And you will know the events that are transpiring for that part of your life.
Well,
interesting. So
right.
in Jataka Parijata, they'll also say, take the seventh lord, add the degrees of the lagna degree, not lagna lord, lagna degree. Put those two together. Based on transits over that point, you'll know when the person gets married. Okay.
Okay.
You will even know the age. So they do some calculation and they know the age of the person. Based on what they put together, they'll know, oh, that number plus that number put together, that's the age. Something like that. And then there's you can do some interpolations of that. It's never straightforward, if you ask me. There's something that has to be adjusted to that. There's an adjustment we make. So this sputa yogam, and this is again, the whole sputa yogam is really in essence lagna degree. This is changing every graha in the chart. Imagine I say that graha is in the sky. What makes that graha different is how it relates to your lagna degree. Add the two together and you will get how it relates. What is the effect of that graha? Fun, eh? That is the term that is used in our tradition is yoga sputa. That's the meaning. Yoga sputas. Adding two things together, getting a result from that. Very interesting topic. Prashna Marga gets into this a lot. What do we do for the Arudha lagna? We do something much simpler. We say the degree of the Arudha is the same as the lagna degree. Because we didn't get any degrees when we did all these Arudha calculations. We said there's a point in the sky, right? What is its degree? The degree of the Arudha is the same as the lagna degree. All right? So I'll show an example of that. And so, for example, if let's say for the prince, we said his ascendant degree is 28 degrees. His Arudha is in Pisces. So I will state, now it's as if it's in 28 degrees of Pisces. Calculate the Navamsha of the Arudha degree. So if something is in 28 degrees of Pisces, I know when I try to find out the position in Navamsha, it'll be in Pisces Navamsha. Okay? Pisces Rashi, Pisces Navamsha. Okay? Whereas for the governor, his lagna degree is about 20 degrees. So his Arudha in Pisces will be as if at 20. What is the Navamsha of 20 degrees Pisces? Capricorn Navamsha.
In his, okay.
One is Pisces, one is Capricorn. Examine transits in the Rashi chart. What does that mean? That means see Saturn's transit in the signs in Rashi. We're not going to see Saturn's transit in the Navamsha. We'll see Saturn's transit for 2.5 years in a Rashi. Jupiter 1 year. Nodes 1.5 year in the Rashi chart. But the reference point we'll now have is what that sign was we calculated in the Navamsha of the Arudha lagna. I'll show it.
Okay.
Here, our reference points are now different. We won't use the same methods we used in the initial part of our talk. The first slide where I said, 1, 4, 7, 10, 11, 8, all of that, we won't use that anymore. We will use something much simpler. Simple, simple, simple. This is literally a hot and cold type of method. Only see from that position trines, second, and 12th. Done. Okay, 159, 212. Done. Nothing else. Why this? 212 is like sadisati. 1, 2, 12. Yeah, 12, 1, 2. 12, 1, 2. Sadisati. Next to each other. Okay? You know, as if the Arudha is in the middle of something, you know, Papa Madhya or Shubha Madhya. Okay? Whereas trines are Kona. Just Kona. All right. This is all we will do with this principle. We won't expand it to more. Maybe it can be, but we don't have to. And generally, when we talk of Amsha Gochar, Amsha transits, this is as much as we will do. 12, 1, 2, 5, 9. Finished. That's it. Okay. So let me show you some examples of this. And here we go. Same chart. So we have some way to replicate our findings. All right. And to justify what's going on in these charts. Here we are. So we said here, lagna is at 8 degrees, excuse me, for Prince Charles. Arudha is therefore also 28 degrees, Pisces, which is the same as Pisces Navamsha. Did that. Let's see the exile in 13th year. Again, we'll see it again. And so what did we find here? So the time the exile happened was in 1940. And we already justified Ketu was in Pisces. Now, from the perspective of the Arudha and Navamsha, it will also again be Pisces. Same. It's not changing. So this Ketu over here in 1940 is definitely causing a problem. If you recall the other transits, Jupiter was transiting here, so was Saturn. Nothing, this is in the second from the Arudha, right? So it's a mixed bag. Saturn is negative, Jupiter is positive, but Ketu is definitely negative. So we have two factors saying negative, so it's easy for us to say it was a problem.
Right.
Now, if we go to the time when he passed, which was in his 51st year, we already know Saturn it was the year 1977, was in trines in Cancer, 5th therefrom, 159. We've done the 159. Done. This is a problem. I'm sorry. I've been playing a bit of games with you because I didn't use the diamond chart. 1940, it was here. 1977, Saturn was there. Okay. This was easy enough because we already had worked on this and it was an absolute case. We said, yeah, this works. No problem. So this is working from the Arudha Navamsha, or what should we term it? Arudha Amsha. Okay. Arudha Amsha. But we need to see the other case, right? The governor.
Yes.
Okay. Let's try again. And same chart as Prince Charles of Luxembourg, lagna at 20 degrees. The Arudha is 20 degrees Pisces or Capricorn Navamsha. So Capricorn will be our reference points. We can put a big, we can put a big important heart sign here or star if we want. This is going to be our focus, right?
Yeah.
Now, what was interesting for us was, how did he get re-elected in 1975? Now, you might ask me, Visti, shouldn't we justify why he didn't get exiled from his home that was attacked by Nazis? And I'll say, yeah, I just don't have any data on him at that point, honestly. I know he was not having a major problem. He was staying at home. He was studying. He taught himself electricity. I can say that the trines to Capricorn at that time would have had Rahu over here in 1940, which is well placed from Capricorn, right? We like Rahu in trines. So that's brilliant. But I don't know, other than that this shows he should have gotten some wealth, but nobody said he did. So I'm going to leave it be. Let's compare instead why he didn't die in 1977. It was actually 75 when the re-election happened, but same transit of Saturn in Cancer. Okay, same transit. Now, during that time, if you see from Capricorn, okay, Capricorn was our focus.
Yes.
If you see 159, no planets. Okay, if you see 1212, no planets. All right. Visti, we got nothing. Nothing good, nothing bad. Nothing significant. All right. When this happens, oh, don't ignore the Lord of this sign. Lord of that Navamsha, which is Saturn. So put Saturn over here in his birth chart. Now see the trines again. So what is that going to be? 1, 5. Hey, look, Jupiter's there. Re-election. All right. Saturn is also in trines. But the difference is here, if you recall, this is not happening to the original position. It's happening to the Lord, Paka, we call it. Paka has a lot to do with interactions outside, people you meet outside. If people fail you or they serve you. So we see here, people will help him and some people will fail, which is true. He was helped to get elected and some people could not stay with him. That works. Like that, you see now?
Yes.
Now, let's go further. There's more. We're getting more detailed, I hope. This is when he went to jail, our good governor. All right. We're still going through the same events to justify how this method is working. Let's go back. Our focus was Capricorn. So we put a star in Capricorn for the governor. And we have to see the trines to this again. And what do we see? Saturn is in trines with Jupiter. See that? So now we can say, hey, yeah, there's a problem. But Jupiter is also there. How do we deal with that? Is it all good or is it all bad? Complicated, very complicated. I could have said, oh, this Saturn is definitely negative and this Jupiter is trying to be positive. Yes. And if we add this 12th house, first house, second house, then we have the North Node over here. All right. Now, is this going to be positive or negative when it comes to the nodes? Are we seeing a good or a bad event here? And then we can say here, oh, well, from this perspective of the Amsha, the Rahu is not in trines, right? Did you know Rahu can cause issues with longevity and health? He can do that. So whenever we are seeing these 12-1-2, the nodes tend to just become pure negative. You see that? Purely negative. So there's an overwhelming negativity happening over here with one Jupiter fending and Saturn and Rahu going against. That would be the initial argument we dwell on here. It doesn't help that we say in our tradition, Rahu does have a second aspect in the Ārūḍha lagna, which is not great. This Ārūḍha Amsha, excuse me. Now, some people are going to say, but Visti, how do you know it's jail time? So I added something interesting here. You see, how did we calculate this Capricorn? We started off with Arudha lagna is in 20 degrees Pisces.
Right.
The biggest problem for the Arudha lagna in Pisces is Sun, Surya. This is something called Graha dosha or Janma dosha. We like to say when we learned this first time, fishes don't like to be out of water and in the sun. Okay? It's a very silly statement. But this is what there's some part of truth to it. Okay? And and that means that people who have Arudha and Pisces tend to have government problems or father problems.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, when is this going to get excited or cause a problem? That'll happen whenever Saturn transits a Rashi or a Navamsha where the sun is placed. Now, what happened was, when you take the degrees of Saturn's transit here, although it is hurting this Arudamsha here that we started off with, the nature of the problems is that in the Navamsha, Saturn was transiting Capricorn when you take the degrees. And in Capricorn Navamsha was the Sun. Okay? So this Surya dosha is getting active when Saturn exactly came in to Taurus Rashi, Capricorn Navamsha, which is the first 3 degrees of the sign. That's exactly when he got his sentence. Okay?
Wow.
So that's where we're getting into, hey, you can time the specific event also from the transit, not just that it's good or bad. But what did we do? I said, okay, I know from the Rashi chart, vis-a-vis Arudha lagna and the Arudamsha, something is going on here which is not great. And then I wanted to see, can I get a hint as to what it is? Surya dosha. He's having government problems. Does he really suffer from Surya dosha? Yes, he does. His Arudha is in Pisces. He has big problems with Surya. And that that Surya is 9th Lord in 8th, adding to the issues, showing that there is a problem in Rashi. So then we say in Rashi and Navamsha, it is now confirmed. Okay? Okay. Details. This is not what I set out to do, but I thought it was a fun addition, amusing, if you will, to talk about. That we can also time the exact nature of events. Government problem. That it is jail time would also be interesting, but that's a whole topic in itself. I won't get into now. Okay?
Yes. So it's thank you, Visti. This was really informative because it's basically going really deep and really precise to really get the event, because otherwise, I mean, it's just showing that Arudha, how important Arudha is, and the transits, and how it can really affect us in every aspect of our lives.
And I like to think that the way I present it, I'm not saying Arudha is exclusively important. I'm also saying, hey, look, when I had to find out what was going on to the sun and what was going on to all of these things and government problems, I didn't actually need to the Arudha necessarily, but it gave us a good hint that, hey, Pisces Arudha government problem or father problem, some Surya problem, right to say? And then we went into details and all of that. And I thought to have some more fun in the end here, I have 3 slides just on Björk, if you permit me. Okay?
Yes, please. Yeah.
And let me get into this. So I wanted to take those 2 events for Björk where her solo and her initial band came out. All right? Because those same 2 events, but I wanted to show this Arudamsha show coming up clearly. And that is, her lagna degree is 24 degrees. So her Arudha is 24 degrees. This is Aquarius Rashi that her Arudha was. Let's see, where is Arudha? Here in Aquarius. And this is in 24 degrees Aquarius corresponds to Taurus Navamsha. So we'll put the star in Taurus over here. Okay. Now, when she started her band, or when the band came together, she actually joined a band which was already established. All right. Then, or it sort of got reformed, excuse me. 1 band member left and stuff like that in the beginning. What do we see here? From 12, 1, 2, 5, 9, only Jupiter. And that's when their first hit also came out, same year. A hit also. They were recognized in the UK on the billboards.
Wow.
Okay? Yeah. She began a band. She married the guitarist and rose to stardom. I think they had a child also. All right. If I'm not wrong, I'll have to recheck that. Big thing that happened. This is normally what happens in 12th house, by the way. Family. People say second house is family. Yeah, but from Arudha and Moon, things are a bit upside down. Okay? Yeah. Lagna second house is family, but things are a bit weird from the Moon and the Arudha. They don't look at it things like that. They see entire family, even parents from 12th. Another day, another topic. So this Jupiter was blessing her. So really, what did she really get when she got into that band? She got a new family.
Yes.
And that was good. And there was nothing else inhibiting her, we can argue, because the other transits were benign. All right. Oh, excuse me. I think Ketu is over here. So maybe there was some unpleasantries being in 5th. You see that? There must have been something unpleasant. Yes. But when you compare, it's 1 against 1, and Jupiter usually wins if it's 1 against 1. So there's something benign there. Very, very nice to see. Now, let's see if we can replicate this when we look at the time when she started her solo career. And here we are. This is the time of her solo career, the transits. Same chart, obviously. We are still looking at our focus on Taurus here, which is the Arudha Navamsha. By the way, her normal Navamsha lagna is also Taurus. They are falling together in this chart.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. And whenever you have Arudha lagna in trines to the ascendant, this will happen. Okay, same Navamsha. Now, solo career in 93. So if we do this, what were we doing? Was it Taurus again we were doing? Yes. We had 12, 1, 2. None of the transits are here. 5. Hello, what's this? Jupiter again. And 9. Nobody else. Notice that? Or maybe I should just, excuse me, I'll collect Ketu over here. He's still coming to trine. As if every time Jupiter and Ketu go to trines, something major happens which is benign for her, but that Ketu is going to cause some mischief. Remember I said touring is very difficult for health?
Yes.
So the artists, they do this. The point is, this Jupiter keeps blessing her. Every time it went to a trine, every time it went to an early sign, it blessed her. You could ask me, will it also have blessed her if it had gone to Capricorn, debility? Yes, it will.
Okay.
It will. It doesn't care. It will bless. All right? It's blessing her with the little it has.
Wow.
And it has a lot to give. So we see each time this Arudamsha is making it a bit simpler for us to say good or bad, black and white. And then maybe you can analyze in detail from the Rashi chart after that. Because you're getting a weightage saying, yeah, this is very important. The good is more important. Or no, the bad is more important. Focus on that in the chart. So we have done 3 charts and we've gone through each of them in this way. If I now, I think I have only this, what we call, is it a summary of her chart here? I've shown both transits at the same time and the conclusion of what happened and what was going on. It's essentially the same chart with the transits. We already talked about this. Okay. Obviously, viewers might stop and pause and read this a bit more detail. What did Visti write here on the right and all of that? But we've covered it. And with that, I hope it was a good listen and it was of value to you and the viewers that will be listening and watching. Is there anything that we didn't talk about? I can say that in summary, all Rashi transits must be verified from the Navamsha. Especially the Arudamsha is vital from for the transits. And this topic of transit and these sputas and yogas, I think I have given also some talks on this on my own course website, rama-edu.com, Rama Academy, if you will. So if there's any questions, you know, that we don't get to, I hope they'll be on YouTube, or in the forums, or otherwise. And I look forward to sharing more when I can. Now, is there anything you had on your mind?
Thank you so much, Visti, for your time and in-depth presentation. This was wonderful and really informative for me. I mean, I'm going to be rewatching this many times and applying it on my charts because I'm big on Ārūḍha lagna. One of my passionate topic that I like to learn more about. So I really, really appreciate your time and in-depth and the examples you have given, which is really, really wonderful. And I mean, you did mention it here, but you had said that the transits, did you mean like when you say from the Navamsha lagna, or can it also be, is there Arudhas in the Navamsha as well? I mean, I don't know.
Principally, you are right. You can calculate a whole new set of amshas. You can. But when it comes to going into divisional charts, we like to be a bit more explicit about what we're examining. All right. Parashara is very interested in us drawing the Arudha Lagna's degree in the amshas. Okay. But you can take the, let's say, a Navamsha, or what we do, we take, let's say, the D60 chart or other charts. We recalculate all the Arudhas from that chart. So you have two ways of going about it. You could take the Ārūḍha's calculated in Rashi chart, find the degrees and see their position in the divisional chart. But the method of calculating Ārūḍha, you count from the house to the Lord and so much therefrom, you'll get an Ārūḍha. You can do that in any divisional chart independent of the Rashi. But as soon as it's independent of the Rashi, it can be independent of you.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the divisional charts are all those people we will meet in our lives. And there's what I didn't say, it's good you put this across in that way, and that is the Rashi chart is like a supermarket, but it is our supermarket of life. You don't go and buy everything in the supermarket. You choose some of the things there. The filter to choose occurs in the divisional charts. But of these divisional charts, the most important first divisional chart to examine is the Navamsha. Okay?
Okay.
Because the Navamsha will decide how much space you have in the cart.
Right.
In the shopping cart. Like how much good or bad fortune is available is starting off in the Navamsha. And only after examining the Navamsha will you even get an idea as to which aisle you're going to visit in the supermarket. Are you going to visit the office supplies, D10? Are you going to visit, let's say, food for the home and house, D2? Or maybe it's something specific, medicine you had to buy for your parents, D12. You're in the pharmaceutical aisle, let's say, okay? Or is it that you needed home appliances, so that's D4, okay? Or is it that you needed something because you need some notebooks because you're going to study with Visti and he says so many things and you have to keep pausing the recording all the time. Then you go to D24, all right? And then maybe Visti is so overwhelming, you're just praying to God that maybe things will work. Then you go to D20 and buy some candles, all right? So each of these divisional charts come after the Navamsha. So I like the structure. I can just say Vargas, supermarket, and then you go to Vargas, be specific. But really, it's a stop. First Rashi, then Navamsha. And then you get an idea from here whether you're going to which of the other divisional charts to examine. 14 left, is it 15? 14 left to check out after that. Some people say more. And that also means that this method I have shown about Arudha, there's a way to extend it to every single divisional chart after the Navamsha. But you don't know which one to look at until you have the Navamsha.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Namaste. All the best. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.